So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our satsang of the week on this beautiful Labor Day, sunny and mild weather Labor Day. So let's start with our questionnaires. And just to let you guys know, I'm going to be making a remedy video of Jupiter and Saturn for their transit with low Ashtaka Varga points on my KRS vlogs, which you should already know. So, the first question comes from Debavadhu Sen. How is it that Venus gets exalted in Pisces though Jupiter is enemy to Venus and Venus to Jupiter? Okay. This is a beautiful question. Well, the reason why Venus gets exalted, in the sign of Pisces, because Pisces is the sign of devotion. And Shukracharya, which we call Venus, but Shukracharya, was the biggest individual who devoted himself to sadhanas, to prayers. He's the one who's able to get in places, like he was under Shiva for 10,000 years, doing tapasya, doing, his learning things. He's the most devoted. And because Venus element is also water, and Pisces is the highest of sign that relates to water, it's that big ocean. So Venus is able to merge into the ocean. Venus has the ability to merge into the ocean. So, and then this whole animosity towards, Jupiter's sign or this, we haven't really understood this whole concept of friendship, enemy, and neutrality in astrology. Because if you look, Mars is exalted in Saturn's sign, and Jupiter is exalted in Moon's sign, while Moon stole Jupiter's wife. Why is Jupiter exalted there? So, of course, this, just to even explain this part of Venus and Pisces and Jupiter, I would have to make literally a half an hour long video to talk to you about all the points as to why Venus finds its highest of placement in Pisces. Because Venus is not about love, as in the love that you think, like romantic love, marriage, relationship. No, Venus represents being a yogi, being into the highest of mountains, the highest of places, in isolation, doing its tapasya, doing its prayers. So this is why Venus finds its exaltation point in the sign of Pisces. Then, November rain 1, if a person dies for 20 minutes and comes back to life after, will the person have a new birth chart? Just curious. Very, very good question. Very smart question, actually. I mean, this is something, even I have thought about that what if, because there are actually ceremonies that gets done in India where they burn your old chart in the fire. And from that moment, when the chart is burnt, a new chart is made, and that becomes your true chart. And you will see that people actually start getting affected with that particular karma more than the karma of their chart. So these things are able to happen. So let's say if you want to burn your chart, you don't want to deal with the chart, the only way you can do that if you take the life of a spiritual celibate or spiritual yogi or yogini. And what happens during the ceremony, they say all your material karmas are now in this fire, and we have picked this particular time which represents a yogi or a yogini, and this is now your birth. And you will see a person starts to feel the effects of that. Their chart no longer works. But of course, an expert has to do that. But if a person dies and comes back, no, because a new chart will require a new body. The body's still the same. It's like when you sleep, the soul leaves from top of your head. It leaves. Everybody's souls, if you can go out at night and see houses, and if you have this clairvoyance, you will see these lights going up in the sky. That's where you go into the astral world and dream. And you just come back. So if you died, you will, on the other side, somehow, some way, you will find out that no, this is not your time. You have to go back. You have to finish your karma, and then we'll see you later. There's always some kind of a story like that. So no, the chart will stay the same because that is it's in their chart that's showing a near-death experience. And if this happens to a person, guaranteed it has to be in a chart. A near-death experience has to be in a chart. And talking about near-death experiences, today's moon is in Bharani. I think it's the fourth pada now. Bharani nakshatra represents near-death experiences. So here, funny I picked this question. The third one is Subramaniam Karupara. How people have many... Okay, so you're saying how people that have many planets in the 8th house, in the D9 and D10, handle their life. That can be quite a self-destructive position, or like self-emulate, what do you call? Emulation. Person can deal with a lot of psychological issues or pressure where they may just cut themselves, or they become self-destructive. They will, sabotage a great time with the spouse. They want to give them that hurt. They want to make them feel that hurt so they can witness something. And usually you will also find, obviously, occultists and researchers, investigators, detectives with this position, because their dharma and artha becomes about the 8th house. Okay. Then the question is from Guru 1. I'm Guru 7. Hi, Kapiel Raaj. Satsang question. You haven't made any videos about waxing and waning moon. Does it really matter a lot? Number one, yes, I have made a video on waxing and waning moon. I believe, where did I make it? Yeah, watch my videos of sun and moon conjunction. I have made videos on those where I'm talking about sun waxing and waning, and I've made a detailed video in my Vedic Astrology Simplified course on Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, where I've talked about the significance of how waxing moon is different from a waning moon. One is internalized, one is externalized. And obviously waxing and waning moon creates the 16 tithis, which actually show the character of an individual. And the darker the moon gets, the pace of life and the desires in life manifest way differently than if one has a full moon. Okay, so I've made the video. Then Iro Classy One, why am I getting fond of acting and have Saturn in the first house in Gemini and Ardhra Nakshatra? Well, this is actually a very common placement, because Ardhra is a very animated nakshatra. It's like Shiva doing the Tanda. Okay, you will see these people like just animated. And Ardhra make the best actors. Why? Because an Ardhra individual is the one that can easily cry at the spur of the moment. They've got like emotions sitting right there on their chest, just ready to come out. More than the Cancer, it is the Gemini that is the most emotional. Like if you look at some of the most brilliant actors who perform scenes of emotional, like emotions and crying, you will see that they will have prominent Gemini in their chart, especially Ardhra, or the planet might be having this nakshatra directly opposite to themselves. Like, for example, if let's say Jupiter is in Purvashada, well, directly opposite to Purvashada is Ardhra, and Purvashada is ruled by Venus, that signifies strategies and creativity. So, and Saturn, naturally being the significator of karma, here shows that one's karma is to do communication, but dramatic communication, emotional communication, and Saturn naturally represents sadness. So, and being in the Lagna naturally shows that's, but of course, not everybody's going to want to become an actor. Most likely you have certain placement from your Karakamsha Lagna, or your Dharma Lord and Artha Lord somehow is connected with the 3rd or 5th house. Which brings us to last questions from Tamshri Karmakara. What are the combinations which show whether a person can get moksha in this life? Well, there are many of them. The number one thing you want to look for is your Karakamsha Lagna. What a beautiful segue. Karakamsha is a Gemini ascendant. Again, I've said this repeatedly about how Karakamsha is seen, but I hate already repeating that over and over again. But if you get the report from my website, you'll see your Karakamsha Lagna in there. But if you have a sign of Pisces or a Jupiter ruled sign, which is Sagittarius, obviously, a person is able to get moksha. Or if benefic planets like Venus, Jupiter, waxing moon, see, this is where we use waxing moon, aspect the 12th house of the Karakamsha Lagna, through sign aspects or the placement, person can find moksha. Your Dharma Lord and Artha Lord in a moksha house gives a strong purpose in life that a person will seek moksha. Especially when Ketu influences your Dharma and Artha. Then there's Muni Yoga. And then there's Parajani Yoga. But then there's also Vrinchi Yoga, Vasumati Yoga, related to trying to find enlightenment in this life. But one of the things you will see that a person is on a path for will receive moksha or not, you will see that usually for such people, marriage becomes the hardest, thing to deal with in life. Because of the fact the soul is looking for separation, but it still has karma to pay with someone else. And so when you're not interested in something and yet it comes to you and it's, it's like your mother telling you to eat your vegetables when you're a kid and you don't want it and you're forcefully eating it. You're like, I don't care. Oh my God, just, give me the paneer or give me the chicken. Same thing happens. And there's, countless yoga for moksha placement. Obviously we have to also look at Vimsamsa chart as well. If the trikona of your birth chart, meaning the trinal houses of the birth chart, are same trinal houses in the Vimsamsa, shows great spiritual progress to have self-realization. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. This is my satsang for the week. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know anything about your chart, consultations, and link to my books, check out the links here, including my Academy website here as well, where you will see my KRS vlogs with tons and tons and tons of video there now. And tons and tons and tons of video coming soon with some excellent techniques. All right. Bye-bye.